Hi there, welcome back down the rabbit hole with Kae
and Lex. Today is Marvel Monday. Topic of discussion: Marvel. So let's. How long have we been into Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, probably since I've been into it since probably I want to say like 2010. Not right when the MCU first started with Iron Man and Captain America, all that stuff. I definitely got into it a little bit later, but not quite as late as this one did. Yeah, I tried to keep up on once I got caught up in about 2010, watching all the films when they came out.
You got caught up in 2010.
Yeah.
That's when I started dating my ex-husband in 2010. And
You were too preoccupied for Marvel.
I just didn't know that it was as big as a thing as it was.
Yeah, it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't as big of a thing in because it was like my summer between freshman and sophomore high school years that my dad and I were like, let's watch all like the Iron Mans that were out at that time, and because I think that point like a second one or third one or something was coming out, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll get into this, and I hated it like you. And I was like, this is lame, and then I saw. I think it must have been Captain America.
I had a fully formed opinion as to why I hated Marvel.
Yes,
though.
yeah.
I didn't just like hate Marvel just to hate Marvel because everybody loved Marvel. I hated Marvel because of Iron Man. I saw a clip that my stepdad was watching where he the very ending of the first Iron Man movie where he just reveals that he's Iron Man. And I was like, man, fuck that guy. What kind of cocky-ass bitch fucking just says that he's the superhero? And so I vowed to never watch any Marvel movies.
Yeah, and that was in, 2000, what?
When the first Iron Man
2008?
Came out, yeah. I vowed, and I never did. I never watched any Marvel up until COVID.
Yeah, and then we had that lovely pandemic of ours, the COVID-19 pandemic. And my wife and I, my wife got COVID actually, which was early in the pandemic, after you guys got it.
Yeah.
So my wife got it from you and your partner. We, on our 2 weeks of being home, we're going to watch all of the Marvel movies in timeline, because at that same time, Disney Plus was all the hullabaloo. It was all the jazz.
Well, Disney Plus was just starting up, and they were going to have the whole Marvel.
Yeah, and they had it all in the order for you, so you could just, watch it, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And so that's what my wife and I did when she had COVID for 2 weeks, and then...
And that's when I texted you, hey, did you hear about Echo?
Yes. Yeah, and I was like, Echo, from, the Daredevil series, and you were like, I don't know, but...
I was interested in it because I didn't know it was Marvel.
Yes.
But they had released a new show called Echo about a native Hispanic deaf woman.
Yeah, they were going to. They had announced that they were going to release it.
And I was interested in it because I'm native and Hispanic.
And really into deaf studies.
Studies, yeah.
Yeah, so
I was like, well, shit, I want to see this because that's really interesting.
Right, and I told you can't just watch that one show when it comes out. I said,
because I said, oh, can I watch this without knowing what's going on, because by this time everybody knew that Marvel was kind of like a conjoined, you can't watch one without the other.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, shit.
Yeah. Was this 2020? This was
during when I texted you while I had COVID and Dalton had COVID, because I had nothing to do.
So wait, was that?
It was
2021 technically, January?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because once we were done quarantining, I said, okay, I think I'm ready.
Yes. So it was actually kind of funny because my wife and I had watched it in a 2 week span, everyone up to that a certain point, and then you and your partner were like, okay, I will only be able to do it if we do it every watch them all together every week, and so that's when we started. That's actually what started doing our weekly dinner movie TV show nights, which we've now been doing for 2 years. We hang out at least almost every Sunday and just watch something in the next installment of whatever franchise we're into right now.
Yeah.
Side note, we are doing X-Men right now in preparation for the upcoming Deadpool 3 Wolverine crossover, and I guess the X-Men 97 animated TV show as well.
To be fair, I also didn't know that X-Men was Marvel, so I guess I did watch Marvel movies, but I just didn't watch the main timeline because X-Men wasn't a part of the timeline.
And it really kind of isn't still. So that's something that is exciting too is that they're finally hopefully gonna like blend it together with this Deadpool movie.
Oh, but I did watch Spider-Verse.
You did watch that,
But
you also were like, it's just Spider-Man. Like, and you saw the old Tobey Maguire. Did you ever see the Andrew Garfield ones?
I didn't see the Andrew Garfield ones.
It's okay, you don't have to.
I don't watch like a lot of movies.
Yes,
but I do religiously watch the Marvel movies now.
Yes,
thankfully because of you. If you didn't push me to, I'd probably fall behind again. But Spider-Man to me, first of all, I knew that I could never watch the Tom Holland ones because they were too
in the MCU.
In the MCU,
yeah.
So I was like, is that even really Spider-Man? If like
it's involved with all these other people.
Yeah, because I didn't understand, and so I never watched those ones. I'd never seen any of the Tom Holland ones. I had just seen the Tobey Maguire ones, and then they were like, "Oh, Miles Morales
animated,"
and I was like, "All right," and I fucking fell in love with it. I love Miles Morales. That's my son.
Yes.
But also in general, now speaking, I just love Spider-Man. That's my son.
Yeah.
They're every single timeline,
every rendition of Spider-Man is your baby.
Son.
Yeah, so that's what got us started, and we got you caught up. And
I was so mad because we had to watch Iron Man, and I absolutely hated him. Yeah,
that was your whole thing. Was like you were like, I don't want to watch Marvel because I hate Iron Man because I saw this clip where this cocky guy was like, I am Iron Man, and then we watch it in timeline order. So like that starts with like Captain America, the first Avenger, then goes into Captain Marvel.
It's funny though because you were watching me.
Yes, I was watching you watching them for the first time.
And knowing what happens.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
And
you're like, bad at keeping secrets, but you kept these very well.
Thank you. I'm really proud of myself. But also, so did the universe, because like you had almost no Endgame spoilers. You had no Infinity War spoilers.
Like, if you're actively searching something up, like the media will pop up with like whatever. But I never looked up anything that had to do with superheroes.
Your targeted audience was never anything Marvel, and so you never
I'd never seen any. I knew of Endgame. Yeah. I knew that it happened. I knew it was a huge thing that had happened.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You were like, it happened, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I did see one Marvel movie.
I
saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah. Just because your friends were going and you're like, I want to hang out with my friends, right?
And I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Yeah. I completely dissociated throughout the entire movie. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, well, I don't understand anything. But also, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 doesn't even reference a lot that happened in the MCU anyway. So I was just watching and I was like, I've never even seen the first one.
Yeah, you're like,
what the fuck is this tree? I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then, so that's the only movie I'd ever seen in the MCU before I had texted you during COVID, like, hey,
I'm interested in watching Echo. And I was like, you can't just watch it. You got to watch it all. And then you were like, I'll only do it if we can like do it together. And so, yeah, imagine how hard it is. Your best friend, your soulmate, your sister wife has no idea what's coming. And then worse than that.
But I was very adamant that I hated Iron Man. Yeah. And I grew to really love him.
I don't want to know, I'm not going to speak for you, but I watched you go from somebody who was like, I hate Iron Man, cocky asshole, to being like, Iron Man is the best Avenger. He is the best Marvel superhero. He's your favorite, essentially.
I started, instead of like dreading watching the Iron Man movies, started asking you, when is he going to come back in any of these Marvel movies?
Yeah, and like, when's his next cameo?
Oh, like Civil War. Oh, like he's gonna be in the Spider-Man one. And I was like, hell yeah. And then that very first Spider-Man movie where it's both Iron Man and Spider-Man has to be one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I fucking love seeing them interact with each other.
Yeah.
I'll never watch it again. But
yeah.
There's a lot of movies that in the MCU timeline specifically that I absolutely love with my whole heart that I will never ever be able to watch again.
Yeah, me too. I'll cry if I think about it too hard because I'm emotional. I cry about everything. But yeah, so I watched you kind of go and I was like, maybe this person will be your favorite, maybe that person will be your favorite, and you chose Iron Man.
Did you have like who you thought would be my favorite? Because we went in with me already hating Iron Man, and were you set in the fact that I was going to continue?
I thought you would hate Iron Man because I don't love him the way you do. I'm just like, meh, Iron Man. Like, he's Iron Man. I don't know. I thought you were going to really like Spider-Man. I knew you were going to really like Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
No, yeah.
I knew you would because I also just know that you kind of like that, like, goofy, like lost in the sauce, like adolescent kind of vibe that he has. I thought you were gonna like Captain Marvel, which you did. Yeah.
For reasons.
Gay reasons.
Smash.
And I thought you would, I mean, there were some people that I was like, you know, you probably like this person, you'll probably get along with it. I thought you would like Gamora a lot. She takes no shit. She kicks all ass.
I mean, like, I don't have a problem with Gamora.
Yeah, like, bad biddy.
Yeah, I think you thought I would like her more than I do.
Yeah. I thought you would like the whole Guardians of the Guardian franchise more than you actually did.
Yeah.
You liked it, but I wouldn't say you loved it.
I didn't love it. I like them. I feel like, in my brain, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are, like, really big filler movies.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Because, like, they do have very heartwarming ones, like, heartwarming moments, I should say.
Yes.
That I, like, genuinely enjoy. Except for the third one. I will never watch that movie again.
I will never watch that movie again. That movie was too much. It was too much.
My partner is a veterinary technician, and the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 fucking destroyed me, and it destroyed them, I think, even more, because they love animals.
It was hard to watch.
It was really hard to watch. Good on them, though, because, I mean, like, that's true. That's what they like, do, but I will never watch it again.
Yeah, I'll never watch it again. It was too much. So then, I guess just, like, watching you fall in love with this one character, and I, who have seen all of the Marvel movies up to this point, now twice, at least twice, sometimes more than that, obviously no spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it. At
this point, I feel shocked if anyone doesn't know, because I was shocked that I didn't know.
Yes.
You had placed bets with one of our friends to see when I would cry.
Yeah, and you don't cry at, like, anything, and I was like, you're gonna cry, and you were like, you just don't cry at a lot of movies, like, ever, or you're just not a very, like,
I'm not a very outwardly emotional person.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to crying.
That's so sad, and, like, I genuinely mean it. But, like, with crying, it takes a lot to actually make the waterworks start sprouting.
Yes, and so I think that I did hypothesize that you would cry during Infinity War.
Yes.
And you did.
I did.
But then watching...
But I cried at
a different part than we thought. Yeah. You, Vision's, like, multiple death scenes.
That fucked me up.
Yeah, you really had a hard time with that. And it's sad. It's like... Let's kill Vision, and then let's kill Vision again, and then we have WandaVision. We're like, it's like, let's kill Vision again.
But, like, she even says it in WandaVision, I believe it's in WandaVision, where she says, like, I had to blow a hole into the person that I loved's head, and it didn't even matter. And that's how it felt watching that scene.
Yeah.
Especially because we had just watched it in timeline order. I hadn't watched any movies in between this. It was just Marvel after Marvel after Marvel, and then getting to know, like, Vision, even though he wasn't there, like,
a long time,
because it was Age of Ultron where he came out, but, like, to see Wanda fall in love with him, and then it made me feel like if you had to kill your partner and you were able to get that strength because you had to kill your partner for the good of, like,
humanity,
for him to just reverse it,
the entire universe.
Yeah, and then for Thanos to just reverse it and then go and kill him anyways,
You started sobbing, and I was really shocked. No, I thought you were gonna cry when Spider-Man says, "I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark."
Yeah, well, I started sobbing, and then I didn't stop.
And then he didn't stop.
Yeah.
So that was one day we watched Infinity War, and then Endgame.
We didn't watch Endgame next. We watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, because it happens at the same time, and you wanted to give me a space.
Yes, a space in between. So
we watched Infinity War, and then we immediately watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I was, like, in tears, crying, and I was like, but they don't know what happened.
Yeah, they don't know,
because it's happening
at the same time. And then they go into the quantum realm, or Scott goes in, and then everyone outside gets snapped.
Flipped, yeah.
Yeah, and he's, like, stuck in the quantum realm, and then you go into Endgame.
And then you invited people to come over and watch Endgame.
I'm so mean. I didn't know. I feel so bad about that. I didn't know you were going to have the reaction and the response that you did have, though. Which is
really don't, like, know. I, like, because I'm not, like, watching myself. I know that I cried, and I feel like I maybe blacked out a little bit, because I've never so, like, gutturally sobbed.
Yeah, I have literally never seen you cry so, like, I've never seen you cry so hard, I don't think, ever, to this day.
At one point, I feel like I screamed or something.
You did scream. You were, like, it was very, like, guttural, like, a lot of emotions. But, yeah, when it's hard to tell, because, like, the movie starts, and, like, they come back, like, they come back, and you, like, or like Scott gets out. Not that they come back, but like Scott gets out of the quantum realm.
It's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years or whatever, and like he goes and like Cassie's all grown up, and it's like, okay, this is kind of happy, and then the training, and then like they start doing the missions where they're like going back and forth, and like they're going back in time, and then you get to see like Tony Stark meet his dad, and it's all that stuff, and it's like, this is kind of a happy movie, like this is kind of a sweet like perspective on the movie, and then Tony Stark absolutely fucking dies.
Well, at first I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
Because, I'll be honest, I was sitting there, and he does the I am Iron Man, and he snapped, and I was like, damn, his arm's gonna be blown off, because when
Hulk did it, he was
broke
like,
his arm
yeah,
and
his body was like
and
destroyed.
so I was like, wow, fuck, his arm's gone, like, he's gonna have a prosthetic, like, maybe it will be cool, because he'll have a prosthetic, like, iron
Forever
arm.
arm.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, that'll be cool, and then he was laying there, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And then the whole scene again between Iron Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Anyways, I really adopted Tony Stark as my father.
Yeah.
Like, not even in, like, a gross, like, that's daddy. I was like, no, that is my father.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, am like, that's
Tony Stark,
my
that's my dad.
dad.
Yeah. Yeah, and I felt so guilty. Like, I started crying, not because of what was happening in Endgame, but because, as your best friend, I was like, I can't believe I've done this to you. I'm like, I'm evil. I can't believe I've taken us on this journey.
You've still, to this day, apologized to me.
I do. I feel so bad. I didn't know you were, like, obviously not everyone, but, like, a lot of people who saw the movie had that kind of reaction. And then it's so hard to say, like, it kind of only gets worse from there, because there's like some fluff filler movies, and like some things happen, and then we start getting into like the TV shows and stuff, and it's like everyone's really recovering from like the loss of...
I really felt like I was dead for quite a bit after that, though.
Yeah,
because
it was
the next
hard.
movie that we went to go see after that was the Black Widow.
Yes, and that one was kind of like a weird kind of like filler movie.
Like, filler,
Yeah.
family, like, oh, cute, but
Yeah.
like I felt like really dead inside.
Yes. That was where we all discovered that
Oh, shout out to Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
All four of us in our like...
It's the only time that us and our partners have all agreed
on one person
that we think is just the most beautiful. Florence Pugh, if you ever see this, we're not even going to be like that big of a podcast, I don't feel like, for a while, if any. But Florence Pugh, you ever see this, please let me interview you.
Yes, please be on our podcast, Florence Pugh. All of us find you very, very amazing in every way.
I also loved you in Midsummer. You were great. She doesn't watch horror movies.
I don't watch horror movies.
You should watch.
But I love Cooking with Flo, which is what she does, where she like goes in her kitchen and cooks. Did you know she has a little like cook?
No, she had a cook.
Yeah, she loves to cook.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Anyways, we love Florence Pugh. So we watched Black Widow after that, and that was the first movie that we saw in theaters, wasn't it, with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the first one. And then I agreed that I would have felt more moved by Black Widow's like sacrifice had that movie come out, but everything got fucked up.
Yes,
COVID
yes,
and everything.
yes, and also then because like it's hard because movies were coming out that were happening before Endgame, and you were like, well, they're like, she's dead to me, like she's dead, like yeah, and I thought you might cry during her like sacrifice in the movies, but you were like, I don't know, I just don't have that connection with her.
I did not have
but then you were like, if Black Widow would have actually come out first, you would have had that connection. I would have had a
different connection. I also didn't like that I like now though is Hawkeye.
Yeah.
You were like... Well, because in the comics, Hawkeye is canonically, like, deaf. And, like, I love deaf culture because my mom is going deaf. And my mom actually has, like... I don't know if you knew this, but, like, I grew up around a lot of deaf people because my mom's friends were predominantly deaf. That's why I have such an interest in it. And so I was like, yeah, Hawkeye is supposed to be canonically a deaf person. Yeah. And that's, like, a really big staple of his character. And I felt like they completely erased that in the movies. And they did. Until Hawkeye,
the show.
He starts learning sign language. And I was like, oh, they're bringing it back. And I genuinely started to like his character more. I still wish that he would have started
that way.
As a deaf character because that's who he was. But I do like him a lot better now.
Yes. Hawkeye really did. It was a really good show. It was, I feel like, one of the first kind of like, let's get into like Marvel TV shows, and it was like, wow, this can be really good and can be really interesting. And sometimes when you have those heavy shows like Game of Thrones and like Rings of Power, like you, and even Walking Dead, sometimes like you get those episodes that are so long and it's just like so much boring stuff is happening that it's hard to like keep your attention. And it's like, okay, like I get it, they're doing the thing that they always are going to do, or like I see this coming. But I felt like Hawkeye wasn't like that. I was always like, what's next? What's next?
Well, that's the same for how I felt about Falcon.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I went into that thinking that I wasn't going to like it that much because they're not genuinely any of my like
Your
really
favorite characters, yeah.
and I was like, okay, for like Marvel timeline stuff, I have to watch this. But and I'm a really big person on like deep subjects.
Yeah.
And that was a very deep subject,
yeah.
like show that I genuinely loved. I loved how they portrayed it. I loved how they talked about it, and I love in the end him coming into as like,
I'm Captain America, and I'm black. Yeah, like
it was beautiful.
Yeah, it is good, and that makes me so excited for the new Captain America 4, starring Sam Wilson.
Yep.
Like he's there. He's a New World Order. I don't even know if I like really can say I have any predictions for it other than like it's going to be so good. I think that they just announced that it got delayed, unfortunately, because
they also changed the name.
Did they change the name from A New World Order?
They changed
researching it.
Either the King Dynasty or they changed one of them names, but
Brave New World.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be. Brave New World instead of New World Order.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, and it's coming out February 14th, 2025.
Ooh.
So like in about a year and 2 months, 3 months, a year and 3 months.
You can see it for my birthday.
We can't see it for your birthday.
My birthday's February 8th. Wish me a happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I'm ready. I can't wait to see it.
that TV show also helped me like the characters more because I wasn't I'm not like a big Captain America or like a Bucky Barnes person. I didn't know who Falcon was up until this point.
That's okay.
But I genuinely like them more now.
Yes, and I feel like that's what the shows are really good for, is like being like, hey, we have this character who you love, but like maybe you need to get to know them more personally, which is what Hawkeye and I feel like this Falcon and Winter Soldier.
WandaVision though too.
WandaVision too. Yeah, because you I feel like you are left with so many questions about Wanda, and like I will say though, I was not a fan of her like evil arc in Multiverse of Madness. And also, is she dead? Is she not dead?
They confirm that she's dead.
I read so many things that's like she's dead,
I
but
think
like
she herself confirmed that
she's a witch and she's like the most powerful. So like, what does death really even mean?
Well, is she gonna be in the
the Agatha show?
Yeah.
According to Screen Rant, after debuting in WandaVision, Catherine Hahn will return as Agatha Harkness. Agatha and Coven of Chaos. Series will redeem the Scarlet Witch, allegedly. Allegedly.
So we don't actually know, though.
Yeah, it just says...
that show is also really hard to watch.
What, WandaVision?
WandaVision.
It was really hard to watch.
I didn't cry during it, though, but I did have a lot of feelings. I really liked Wanda and Vision as a, like, couple.
A power couple,
It was also, like, one of my first ships in, like,
in the MCU. Yeah, it took you a long time to find your ship because you don't really ship Ant-Man and Wasp. You don't really ship, I'm trying to think of who anyone else in the Hulk and Banner and Natasha.
No.
Like, so that was, like, I feel like one of your first, like, ships of the entire MCU. You were like, oh my god, I love them together. Like, they're so good together.
Yeah.
And they are really good. They're meant for each other, but they're also, like, I don't know, like, imbued of the same, like, energy and power. Like, almost, like, literal soulmates.
Yeah.
So.
Love them.
Well.
Love them together.
She may be gone forever, and he is now
White
Vision. Who knows when that's gonna come back to us. That's a whole other thing. Okay, so yeah, we've talked about your favorite Marvel character, Iron Man. Who's your least favorite character? Who do you hate?
I don't hate any of, like, the main cast, but I do hate Gwyneth Paltrow. I fucking hate
Yeah, so
that bitch.
I love to just kind of reiterate the fact that, like, your favorite character in the MCU is Iron Man. Your least favorite character in the MCU is Pepper Potts.
Yes. I feel like I wouldn't hate Pepper Potts as much if it wasn't for Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, she ruined Pepper Potts.
I just fucking hate Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah.
She was not the choice.
So she ruins, like, so many things just in life in general.
Yeah, she was not the choice.
That she is. I could go on a rant about it. I just don't like her. I don't like her as a person. I don't like
That she's a famous celebrity.
That she's a famous celebrity.
Yeah.
I don't like the interviews that she does where she's just like, oh my god, I didn't even know I did a movie with Tom Holland. Yes, you did, bitch. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, that was a hard interview to watch. That was a hard one.
I don't like her. I don't.
Yeah.
But if we're going by like what like actual Marvel character I hate, because Pepper Potts isn't, you know, Pepper Potts, whatever. She's bland to me.
Yeah.
I just hate her because she's Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't like Icarus.
Yeah.
I don't fucking like Icarus from the Eternals.
The Eternals, yeah.
Whiny little
butthole
that movie,
man. That movie was a rough watch.
I liked the movie.
It was okay.
I liked it. I like the representation. Anything that has that much representation in it, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm into this. But I hated Icarus. And then Icarus flew too close to the sun, and I was like, you stupid fucking poetry bitch. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated him.
Yeah.
Also, I thought that he was Bucky Barnes. They look the same.
They don't look the same.
They look a lot
They
alike.
don't look anything alike.
Can we put, like, a photo? They look the same.
We need to tell Dalton that when we do this, because we're like, show a picture of Sebastian Stan and I can't remember the other guy's. It's Rob Stark, isn't it? Kayla.
I don't know celebrity names. I'm not, like, talking to them. Also, it's IK. It's not actually spelled Icarus.
Oh my god.
He's angsty.
Oh.
There it is, Icarus.
It is, yeah. It's Rob Stark.
They look the same. They look exactly the same to me.
Who even is this person? Oh my god, look. Is Icarus and Bucky the same actor?
They look the same!
They don't look the same!
Yes, they... Look at that! Oh my fucking god. Look at that. Look at that. Are you fucking serious right now?
No. Disagree.
They look exactly the same.
To me, Sebastian Stan looks more like a young Mark Hamill, and Sebastian Stan does look like Mark Hamill. Have you never seen that? That is Mark Hamill. That is Sebastian Stan. Have you never realized that?
All three of them are just the same man?
They don't look alike, but Mark Hamill and Sebastian Stan do look alike. Okay, so I'll say my favorite person in the entire MCU, my favorite superhero, I guess you should say.
Sophie Turner. In
X-Men. No. I just love Sophie Turner. She doesn't know it. She's the love of my life. No, I will say my favorite superhero, like watching this everything, is Scott Lang, Ant-Man. I love Scott Lang's Ant-Man. I just think that he should be protected at all costs. He is funny. He is emotional. He is a good dad. He tries to be a good person. Like, he is just like, he is my favorite. And I would say my least favorite, it's harder to say, but I it's kind of like a Gwyneth Paltrow thing with you, is I hate Star-Lord because I hate Chris Pratt.
That's valid, though. I don't like Chris Pratt.
It's hard for me to like Star-Lord as the character that they have made him out to be because of everything that like Chris Pratt has ever done and said and everything he stands for. And
I genuinely like the Guardians of the Galaxy video game they made.
Yes.
Because they didn't base Star-Lord off of Chris Pratt's Star-Lord. Yeah. They based him off of the comic Star-Lord.
Yeah.
And I
like him so much more.
I like him so much more, and I look at Star-Lord, I see Chris Pratt, and I'm like, you are just the worst person.
Like Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But, like, if it was just Star-Lord, like comic book Star-Lord, love him.
Yes.
Love him.
Yeah.
And also, if I just close my eyes and I'm listening to the movie, and I'm not even the movie, if I was deaf and I was just, like, also erasing
if you were
Chris
blind
Pratt,
and deaf.
Yeah, and then I was like, this is Star-Lord. I just don't want it to be Chris Pratt.
Yeah, so that's how I feel about it, too. And obviously, like, there's villains. Like, we don't like villains, but, like, sometimes they're good and cool.
No, I was really into Thanos' whole idea up until he fucking killed my dad.
So, and I really liked Hela.
Is this like a gay reason why you liked Hela?
No, I just thought that she is the oldest. She might be a little psychotic, but she deserves her realm and her kingdom. Did she end up destroying her entire home and all of Asgard? Yeah. Well, what can you do? Have you ever seen that meme though? That's like Hela's got black hair and like blue eyes. Loki has black hair and blue eyes, and then Thor has blonde hair and blue eyes, and it's like Loki's the one who's actually adopted, and it's like. I'm not sure about that.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
I also wasn't a huge big fan of Thor for a really long time.
Yeah, Thor's kind of like, after Ragnarok, he gets a little bit better. The one with like the Aether and like it goes inside of Jane Foster, like that one was so boring to me.
I felt like the worst one was the first one. Because he
was so himbo.
He was so himbo.
So himbo.
And I'm not like, I am not a person who enjoys like
the
himbos.
Yeah.
Like I think they're funny, but because he was a god, I was like, this is just stupid.
It was kind of stupid. But yeah. Predictions for upcoming things. There's so many things coming soon in the Marvelverse. We're gonna touch base on a few of them. The X-Men 97 animated show. Are you excited for it? Are you anxious for it? Do you think it's gonna follow the X-Men that we know, or be a completely new timeline multiverse situation?
I think it has to be like a different timeline multiverse. Because isn't it also technically a reboot of a very old show?
Yes.
Like they're just continuing it. They're not even like redoing it. They're just continuing it.
I guess so, yeah. So that, are you excited? Do you think you're gonna like it or no?
I like the old one.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think if they aim it too much towards children, I won't be as interested in it. But if it's more like along the lines of like what if, but like just different, I think I'll still be into it.
I wasn't into what if.
I know you weren't. We'll touch on that a different Marvel Monday.
Different Marvel Monday.
The new Spider-Man animated show, which they just announced that they are changing the name of from Spider-Man Freshman Year to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. You love Spider-Man.
I'm excited for this
excited?
I am. Same reason though, they have a tendency to gear Spider-Man towards like kids if they make like animated ones.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is more than just like kids.
For a kid show, yeah. But they have like all those other like on Disney Channel and Disney Junior right now, like the Spidey and Friends and stuff. So I think that this one will be more.
I hope it is. I hope it's geared
more like young adult, teen based. I'm just excited because I feel like they can do so much with it because there's so much happening in the Spider-Verse right now.
Yeah. Especially with like integrating all of that.
Yes,
I mean, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. That was amazing.
That was amazing. And then bringing, like, if they bring Miles Morales in, I just think that there is a lot of potential to happen there. And going forward with a fourth Spider-Man movie or
which they have announced that they're going to do.
Yes,
and
eventually.
Then also Spider-Verse 3 is coming out, and there's that theory that it's going to
it's going to all bring it all together.
Excited. I want my son, Miles Morales. Where you at?
And let's talk for a quick moment about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. We died.
That was also another one that I don't think you expected me to cry as hard as I did.
I didn't. Well, because we had never seen it before. We went and saw it together in the theater, and Chadwick. Yeah, because Chadwick had passed. R.I.P. Chadwick. We love you. So yeah, that was a hard one to watch. But it was done beautifully. It was done beautifully. It was amazing. It was gorgeous. Sobbing. But they just announced like a few days ago that they're going to do a animated Black Panther MCU show on Disney Plus. And you just found out about this when we were about to start filming.
Yeah, just before this.
How do you feel about it? Do you feel it's going to be sad, happy, or not do him justice?
I was worried about Wakanda Forever because I wanted them to do
Chadwick justice.
Yeah. And they did it beautifully.
They really did.
And if it goes along the same line, I think that it has really good potential. Yeah. Again, don't gear it too much towards children but still keep it. Because what if didn't gear itself towards children? It just couldn't keep me like
enthralled. Yeah.
But I could see it being good.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see.
The album slaps.
Yeah, the albums do slap.
And I love Shuri, so
yeah, I love Shuri too. And Ironheart, the introduction of Ironheart was great too.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that too. That's coming up. I feel like this is a good place for our first Marvel Monday for you guys to get a taste of our opinions on all things Marvel. Will not be the last. We will continue doing this. We have a lot of opinions on a lot of things Marvel.
It's very true. Hers is a little bit stronger than mine, I think.
I feel like most of my opinions are stronger than yours.
I just have a really strong opinion about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. This page does not support Gwyneth Paltrow as a person.
Thank you.
And with that, I'm signing off.
Thanks for coming down the rabbit hole with us.
Have a good night.